Nokia 9 PureView smartphone was launched in February 2019. The phone comes with a 5.99-inch touchscreen display. This one is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor. It comes with 6GB of RAM. It is powered by a 3320 mAh battery and supports wireless charging. As far as the cameras are concerned, the Nokia 9 PureView on the rear packs a 12MP primary camera, a second 12MP camera with an 1.82 aperture, and a third 12MP camera with an 1.82 aperture, and a fourth 12MP camera. There is a 12MP camera on the front for selfies. You can record 4K videos at 30 FPS. Nokia 9 PureView based on Android 9.0 Pie and packs 128GB of inbuilt storage. It features an IP67 rating for dust and water protection. It was launched in midnight blue color. Nokia 7.2 will be launched in 2019. The phone comes with a 6.3-inch LCD touchscreen display with an aspect ratio of 19:9. It is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 660 14nm processor. It comes with 6GB of RAM. As far as the cameras are concerned, the Nokia 7.2 on the rear packs triple camera setup consisting of a 48MP main shooter and a 8MP ultra-wide lens along with a 5MP depth sensor. There is a 20MP camera on the front for selfies. It is powered by a 3500 mAh battery with 10W fast charging support. The Nokia 8.1 isn't a successor to the Nokia 8 flagship. The front and rear of the phone is made of glass and there's an aluminium frame holding the whole thing together. Both the front and back have 2.5D Gorilla Glass protection. Nokia 8.1 features a 6.18-inch display with a full HD+ resolution. This device has 3500 mAh battery packed inside. Concerning cameras, it's a dual sensor shooter with the main one being a 12MP 1.8 sensor and the second sensor is 13MP one. In terms of video, you can record 720p Full HD and UHD 4K video. On the front, the selfie camera has a 12MP sensor. Inside there is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 710 chipset with 4GB of RAM. This phone has 64GB of inbuilt storage, but the handset comes with support for 400GB of external storage. Nokia 7.1 have a 5.84-inch Full HD+ display with a 19:9 aspect ratio and HDR10 support. The bright and punchy display is one of the highlights of this smartphone. This one is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 processor paired with 4GB of RAM. With 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage that can be expanded via microSD card up to 400GB. On the imaging front, the Nokia 7.1 features a dual camera setup at the back. There is a 12MP primary camera with an aperture of 1.8 and a 5MP secondary camera with an aperture of 2.4. On the front, the smartphone has an 8MP fixed focus camera with an aperture of 2.0 and an 84-degree field of view. Nokia 6.2 will be launched in October 2019. The phone comes with a 6.3-inch LCD touchscreen display with an aspect ratio of 19:9. It is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 14nm processor. It comes with 4GB of RAM. As far as the cameras are concerned, the Nokia 6.2 on the rear packs triple camera setup consisting of a 16MP main shooter and a 8MP ultra-wide lens along with a 5MP depth sensor. There is a 8MP camera on the front for selfies. It is powered by a 3500 mAh battery with 10W fast charging support.